What is up, Renegade Nation? Before we begin, I'd like to extend a big thank you to all of our most recent Patreon supporters. Tetakai, The What Ninja, Renia Mazziati, Lua Tomarelli Lou, Bloodshade Wolf, Tyler Grubb, Liam McCabe, Roy Merricks, Ivan the Average, Justin Rivera, Darius Deese, Okui Auhara, Redemption, Ashura83, Lukas Ho-Janowski, Kiana, James Armstrong, Melody Richardson, Madison Anderson, Big Evil, Abigail Stember,
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Neck, Radikins, Drakota185, Cole Lowe, Nick, Braden Bates, Jean Corpilati, and Jalen Willis. Thank you all very much for your support. And if you all want to support us on Patreon, feel free to click the link down below to find out more. We'll see you there. The names of great stuntmen are always leering in my mind. Jackie Chan, Iko Uwais, friggin' Scott Adkins, just great stunt coordinators. Ray Park, another one. We watched the Star Wars movies here recently.
Keanu Reeves.
No, he's not a stuntman.
He did.
No, he does a lot of his own stunts. He does a lot of his own stunts.
He did the car jumps. He did a double car flip. I mean,
but no, I'm talking about the people who coordinate the stunts.
Okay.
I'm talking like Chad Stahelski, who was the lead stunt coordinator on all the John Wick films. Him and David Leitch are both stuntmen, but Stahelski is what a lot of people say is.
I didn't know Jackie Chan was a stunt coordinator either.
Oh yeah, he coordinates all the stunts in all of his films.
I mean, I know he does them all, but.
Well, yeah, he's the lead. Like, he has his own team. Like a full team. Actually, if you want tears, like if you want to like cry watching a Jackie Chan video, go back and watch like Jackie Chan meeting up with his old stunt team. Because as time's gone on, like new people have come in, older people have left. But Jackie Chan, they were like doing a big celebration of him for like a Hong Kong movie festival, and they had him looking up at the screen and like all the people who'd worked with him, thanking him and everything. And then he was just like crying and everything, and he said it was such a pleasure to work with them throughout the years. I want to thank them all personally. I really just would love to thank them all personally. And he's just like, and that goes for my team here that I've got with me. And he turns around, and it's not just his new team that's with him. All of the old team members are up there with him. He turns around and sees them, and he starts crying, starts bawling his eyes out, because he knows how much these guys like they gave their time, effort, broke their bodies for him and everything. And it's just it just goes to show you how much people love to make films. And when you see someone like Jackie Chan and the level of detail he goes into with his films, whenever he's like the stunt coordinator and the director and everything, it actually just gives you a whole new level of appreciation for the guy. Because I knew him when I first saw him. I knew him as like Rumble, the guy from Rumble in the Bronx and Rush Hour and everything. But going back and watching his older films, like the Drunken Master series, going back and watching his his Police Story series as well, it's great stuff, great A stuff, and I love it.
Stuff.
Oh yeah, and just
I like Jackie Chan overall. Anyway,
yeah,
Jackie Chan Adventures was awesome.
Yeah. Jackie! Oh, not now, Uncle. I have places to be. It's like, don't forget to grab the talisman, Jackie! But we have here Stuntmen react to bad and great Hollywood Stunts 3. We've done the first two of these, and I really wanted to get Micah and Jacob both in on one of these, because I love to hear what both of them have to say, because Jacob being...
I do all my own stunts.
Well, Jacob being a filmmaker and Micah being a martial artsman, and a person who I imagine would not be afraid of like doing some stunts. And also, I could see him being a potential fight coordinator for us, especially going forward, because he'd be able to like plot out how decent fight, because one of your favorite actors out there is Scott Adkins. I mean, you pretty much watch everything he's in, right?
Well, no. I just think you should play Batman in a series.
Oh yeah.
I've seen the Ninja movies, and I saw Triple Threat.
Triple Threat. That's the one that had him, Michael J. White, and I didn't realize that movie existed.
I've seen. He was in the Expendables, the second one.
Yeah, he was in that.
He's probably in something else. I don't know.
But you like the guy?
Yeah, I mean he's pretty cool.
Yeah, I remember seeing him in the Undisputed series. He was in the second, third, and fourth one. He pretty much took over as the main character in the third one.
I haven't seen that. I saw Boyka. He was the main character.
Yeah, that's the fourth one.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't realize.
Yeah, he played Boyka in the third one, or the second and third one. Second one, he was the main villain. Third one, he actually became the main protagonist. It was really good shit, dude. I love that. I love those movies.
It's impressive.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, anyway, we got Stuntmen react to Bad and Great Hollywood Stunts 3. Let's see what happens.
Go, 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 go.
Oh, man.
That car wasn't there.
Yeah.
Is that real?
Yeah.
What?
Yep. Fast and Furious.
Hello, everyone. We are back with another Stuntman React. We're going to break down some of the coolest and perhaps not so cool stunt scenes from your favorite films. Let's do it. All right.
Let's go.
I need to watch The Raid again.
That's an awesome
movie.
Yeah, it's
movie,
a
dude.
crazy good movie. I watched it with Nick.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite things we've watched here so far.
Like he's in the wall.
Yeah, oh my
I
god.
love classic
There's
Raid
a
movies, man. Like Tony Jaa. Fucking,
The Protector and
Trying to fight
Ong
with
Bak.
would be like the worst experience.
This is it.
Oh
yeah.
no!
You have to black that out.
What?
Oh, the program
That
crashed.
could
Okay.
double as the reaction.
The program was like, this will demonetize you.
Really weaving in and out of everybody. I mean, that was great. Like he hits him with the machete, even though he's got the vest on, so it doesn't really hurt him.
Oh my
Yeah.
So how did they do that? How did they do that? How did they not just murder a man for the sake of entertainment right there? I've had different theories. I think it's a dummy. It looks like a dude there, like, rotoed in.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. I think they're both on green screen.
Well, if you see the his feet at the end, they don't completely...
Oh, that's right.
See how they stop? He's like on a mat or something.
Oh, you're right. It's for sure green screen. Them added it later.
Good use of VFX. Like when most of it's practical, you just don't see it.
That's still a
It
good
looks
shot,
fucking
man.
sick.
I think the raid's great. Something that like a lot of stuntmen don't love about it is whenever they need beats in between the beats, they go like this with their hands.
Swirly slap
They're
thing,
like
yeah.
swimming all the time.
I didn't notice that though in the movie. I thought that
But
was
you know,
just
something
like
like The
their
Last
style
Jedi
of
could have
fighting.
used a bit of that, like where they're
I figured that was like to
constantly,
throw off your
on the
opponent.
move. in
It could be
between
used for that.
beats. Maybe some people are falling down, getting back up and running in, as opposed to just posing. Like stuntmen are constantly trying not to have egg on their face. A good stuntman's just gonna fill in the gaps with doing something. I'll just slip and fall and then stand back up and try to be on the same timing. With the third Batman movie, him and Catwoman are fighting.
Oh, yeah, there's
all
a
the
guy
other
who just
goons.
falls down.
People were taking reactions when they're hit by nothing.
They just don't care.
Look at the guy in the background.
God.
See him just fall down? The far left?
Yeah,
he
like
literally just is
whoa!
like,
Oh
he forgot
god!
that beat
Oh
him.
god! That man is so awesome.
Yeah.
No way.
Wow.
Yeah.
I could see him
I
just
think
being
they were
intimidated
hoping
by
that they would,
Batman enough to trip
Oh,
over himself,
God.
Put in
though.
a batarang or something like later on. Some of the problem with this is also you can't blame it on the stunt coordinator. Nolan likes to shoot on film, so there's no playback. And if they do have playback, he just like kind of watches the monitor and was like, "That felt great. We're done."
Miss. She completely missed. Woo.
Yeah, that was like a foot away. It's 2 a.m.
Yeah.
That's
Done.
What's the hardest hit you've ever taken? Oh, I do know that. I dove out of a car. You know, we were supposed to do 25 miles an hour, but the guy who's driving is like, you know, like, give it. What's the smile mean?
Floor it? No, don't floor it. Okay, floor it.
He's like, we'll go about 20, 25. But the thing is that when you're doing some sort of car gag, when you get to the like main part, you kind of like lean on it. So you're going 28 or something like that. We take off and the effects guy blows the windshield, right? And you know it's gonna happen, but you don't realize how loud it's gonna be and how insane it is when you're in there. So I'm in the back seat and glass starts blowing all over my face. And I'm like, subscribe, and I like see the point that I'm supposed to go and whip the door open and dive out. And they're like, that was amazing, great, moving on. Everybody starts packing up their stuff. I'm sitting in the corner, I knocked the wind out of myself, I'm going, everybody's like, Derek, you good? And I can't say anything because I can't breathe.
Oh, there it is.
Oh! Watch, runs out.
Ooh, man.
Continue to see.
Savage. Yeah.
Dude, you must have been
Boom.
so up on adrenaline.
Oh yeah, I just knew I didn't want to screw it up. Like they're blowing everything up. And
Damn.
like the next day, every molecule in my body hurt.
Sounds about
That
right.
I
love the
do
description
believe.
that everyone just packs up. Like, it's like I've got it. And like everyone just moves on.
And he's
Checking
still
the
there
stunt
like,
guy. Look at my hands in the box. It's like, all right, we're good. Yeah.
So they're shooting out with a paintball gun there off to the right?
Yeah, you get you can basically get light color paintballs, and it
That
looks
guy
like
went all the way up in one take.
Yeah.
glass
Definitely
busting on the
did.
windshield
Only
from a
in
distance.
a
Only
movie
at long
directed
distance,
by
though.
a stuntman would anybody be like,
Jazdowski.
yeah, we're gonna use the car to fight all the bad guys. Like there's no, everybody be like, oh look at that.
Oh,
This
that's
shot.
awesome.
Dang, how
Wasn't that
great
actually
is that?
Keanu
Can you
Reeves
roll
in the
that back
car
a little
too,
bit?
right?
Yep, that
So
was
this
him.
guy literally had to initiate a slide before he hits the ramp so that then when he launches through the air, he's going sideways, and then had to kind of gather it up as it slides across the ground, bouncing, and not hit the camera that's tracking across.
Oh, you're right.
Look at that.
Oh,
no.
Love that
There he is, like,
shot.
oh, go, 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 go.
Yeah, there's a guy in the pursuit vehicle is like,
Subscribe. That's crazy. I had no idea it was such a technical shot.
look at the guy inside bouncing up and down. I mean, we've talked a lot about Tom Cruise, but you know, Keanu Reeves, he did a lot of this driving stuff himself. Like once his doors come off, you get a lot of great shots of him in there sliding the car, you know, interacting with
him.
the camera, which is, I mean, just action gold.
Yeah, like that hit right there.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing that.
So do they use kit cars for that, or are they destroying that really nice car?
I'm sure that they made a kit car out of it. A kit car is where they get something like a Lamborghini that would be way too expensive to crash, and they remake the body out of stuff that isn't carbon fiber, that may look like it, and they're also putting an engine in it that could be a Civic.
This is a 1989 Honda Civic.
They can crash that car, although it'll still work and drive, they can crash it without the cost.
So that's him right there.
Yeah, look at that.
Dude, that's crazy.
Well, he also slid into that position and then was able to maintain it.
That's awesome.
That was
Love that.
great.
It's probably all practical too, I'm assuming.
Not that.
That's
What?
crazy too.
So they did a little gag where they yanked the car with a wire.
Yeah.
And, you know, Keanu just gets
Knocked out.
shot out there.
But he goes so close to that back wheel.
Well, even though it looks like he's close to the back tire, I think you still probably could have pulled it off with the limit line so that the back wheels couldn't possibly touch it.
Yeah,
They
there's a
certainly did
line
that with
holding
the
it to where it
stuntman a
won't
couple of
move
times, and
past
they're
a
like,
certain
look, it's
point.
going to land here. And Keanu's tough son of a bitch, so I think he did that.
I feel like the jump. Oh, snap.
So how do you just not break your knees when that happens?
He knows he's going to get hit, so he takes his one of his feet and kind of gets it up.
Oh, his legs didn't actually get
Yeah,
touched.
you can
Yeah,
see.
so he
It
knows
looked
it's
like he
going to
got hit in the
happen. He
legs,
lifts
but he
that
didn't.
one leg, and then once your weight
He makes it
kinda
look
hits
really
the
good, though.
Perfect
other
timing.
Oh
way,
yeah, yeah.
Watch, he hits the
Stop.
brake, whoop, spits him off.
I feel like the style of fighting in John Wick is a bit slower, chunkier, but really brutal. You know, more realistic.
It is. See how he's yanking him with his jacket? I mean, that is what you would actually do. And to try to get somebody off balance or control their weight or their body or where you want them to go. Although it doesn't always look as sexy as like something in the Raid where they're popping constantly. John Wick is like stunt porn.
Basically.
Chad Stahelski was Keanu Reeves' stunt double throughout the Matrix.
Oh, for sure.
movies. You know, there's the one scene where Agent Smith blasts Neo in the subway fight, and he goes flying back, and he hits like a subway like ticket taking thing.
Yeah, he
and
goes through it.
smashes through it. Well, if you watch it, he doesn't break it, and just head just gets slammed like this. He took some gnarly hits in the Matrix. Chad's been amazing with these films, and I think that you get some really great stuff that most directors wouldn't be able to pull off.
Do you do a lot of car stuff?
I've definitely done a decent amount of driving. I know some of the guys that do some of the Fast and Furious stuff, and those guys are like true car guys. You know, they can literally slide it and stop on a dime. It's unbelievable. I feel like the Fast and the Furious franchise like started out with all good intentions and was pretty cool. They were doing something different, which stretch reality just a smidge.
Yeah, now it's just like Hot Wheels. Like
now it's like a video game.
Yeah.
Can you look up the Fast and Furious where they're dragging the safe?
Yeah. 5, 6, and 7 are probably my favorite of like the newer ones.
Yeah.
What?
So, this is real, and that's why it looks really good. What they did is, I know the guys that did this, and that vault that they're dragging through the street is a car.
But what I did is I took a pickup truck and I cut the entire middle half out of it. From the back of the front wheels to the front of the back wheels, we took that out. And we welded it back together, so all it has is an engine, front wheels, and back wheels, and a seat. And that's essentially it.
And there is another guy that is back there, like looking through like a peephole, and he is literally like sliding the car, like drifting.
That's one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen.
Awesome.
That's why it moves
those
so
wires
well.
and everything are all there. So he's keeping up with these guys and driving this thing through the streets.
Wow. Dude, the visual of there being a car inside that bank vault, just a dude driving it.
What a great idea. Like if you were like, I want to drag this vault through the street, like would you have thought to have a human in there driving it? And if it was all CG'd, it wouldn't feel the same. You just could tell.
Erik, you've opened up a window here that
That's
we
pretty
otherwise
fascinating.
wouldn't have. And I really thank you for coming out here and sharing that all with us.
Oh yeah, thank you for having me. It was a lot of fun to break this stuff down with you guys.
Now, if people have questions about the craft and they're trying to get into this, would you recommend they shoot you a message?
Yeah, absolutely. I try to answer everybody. Believe it or not, I'm not very famous. So I've answered a lot of questions in the past, and I'm always happy to.
If you have stunts that you have questions about, like whether it's like, this thing was crazy, I want you guys to watch it, or like, how the heck did they do this? Leave a comment down below if you want us to react to it in the future, and we'll definitely take a look. We can't wait to read the suggestions that you guys have.
Hell yeah.
Well, there you are.
Cool.
So yeah.
I'd never guessed that was a real safe.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't technically a real save. It was just a dude inside driving.
Well, but
It was
a
fuselage.
It was a
Like,
practical effect.
I mean,
practical.
Oh, the practical. Yeah, absolutely. It's great stuff, man.
It's like, especially like, I don't know about the scene where it was like rolling over, crushing the little concrete things there.
No, I think that was
That had to be CG'd.
No, I think that was still practical. It's just, I think it was still on the wire. It's just, they shot it, the way they shot it, it was a controlled stunt. It was a controlled stunt that they would edit in to make it look like it was actually happening, and then they would insert the truck one in to get it to where it was driving off again. That's what I think. But
as far as car wrecks go, like the one that got me was in Casino Royale.
oh, where he flips the van.
He whips it off the road and just it does like, because it had the record for a while for like most end over end flips.
Yeah. Oh gosh, that one. Car stuff scares the hell out of me.
Yeah, me too.
The one that got me was the Rumble in the Bronx, where it was the Lamborghini with the hovercraft, where it goes over the hovercraft goes over top of it, like destroys like the outside look of it, and then Jackie Chan gets in it. Both of the gull-wing doors are open. He backs it underneath a tractor trailer and knocks the doors off of it. And then he gets a big fuck-all sword and puts it on the steering wheel with his feet and then drives it alongside the hovercraft and kills the hovercraft. It's like, Jesus, man. That's crazy stuff. But you see the scariest ones, like the old school ones, like in the 70s and the 80s, there's actually a stunt driver. The original Gone in 60 Seconds movie. The guy's name was, I believe, H.B. Helicki was his name. He was a stunt coordinator back then, and he filmed the original Gone in 60 Seconds, and it was a huge hit and everything. And they were asking him, "Hey, will you do a second one? You do a second one?" He wouldn't do it. Then, as soon as he started to try and do a second one, there was a stunt that involved a water tower falling down, and his car was supposed to pull back just out of the way as the water tower came down, and they timed the stunt just right, but his car stalled. And the water tower fell down on top of him and killed him instantly.
Shit.
Yeah, and
I've always wanted to watch that movie again, actually, because
Yeah, I
I
haven't
really
seen that in
enjoyed it when I
years.
first saw it. But like,
wait,
I've
you
only
mean the
seen it
Nicolas
once.
Cage one or the
Gone in 60 Seconds?
yeah,
like,
the original Gone 60 Seconds was like in the 70s?
Yeah, like I watched it a long time ago.
Oh,
like,
really? Cool.
At some point, but like,
Yeah.
I didn't get to watch it again.
Yeah, the
Nicolas Cage was all right too, but
well, yeah, but the original one, that's the one a lot of people love.
Yeah. I love car movies. I love Smokey and the Bandit, Cannonball Run. I mean, car movies. I mean, did you remember the movie? What was it, Cheyenne?
Yes.
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 The little killer car. The black one, dude. That
Oh
car
no! Oh,
was-
you mean friggin'
What was it?
Christine.
Christine. That's
Yeah,
it. That's it, sorry.
Cheyenne. That was I thought that was like a western.
Yeah, it might have been. Yeah, sorry, Christine. Yeah, man, that shit was awesome. Maximum Overdrive had some cool car scenes. in it, too.
Christine's based off of a Stephen King one.
Yeah, which funny enough, you mentioned Max Overdrive. That's the only film that Stephen King has directed, and quality shows.
Yeah, it was an entertaining movie though. Like the
Yeah.
steamroller that runs the dude over in the parking lot. That was,
Oh, dude.
that terrified me as a kid. I was like,
Well,
oh my god! Like,
Well, of course. Well, actually, there was an R-rated version that came out, or actually, no, an uncut version, and you can actually see the guy's head actually explodes whenever it runs him over. Oh gosh, it's crazy stuff,
flattened
dude.
him out, dude. Like,
Well,
that
there-
would suck. That would be a shitty way to go.
There were a lot of accidents that happened on the set of Maximum Overdrive. There was actually one where it was this electronic lawnmower lawnmower that was remote controlled. Was supposed to keep chasing after this kid as he went down the road. Instead, it veered off.
No.
And what they did was they added in a sound effect, like it was like it mowed someone else down. No pun intended.
No.
But instead, it veering off was a complete and total accident, and actually went over and it hit a camera operator in the leg and broke his leg.
No.
Yeah, and that was like here
That
like
would suck.
that would suck.
Yeah, I know Harry Potter had a very tragic accident too.
Oh yeah.
The kid that fell off a broomstick.
Mm-hmm. That was unfortunate.
Yeah.
There's also on-set accidents are always the one that you showed me. Well, actually, I knew about it, but you showed me the video of the
Sarah Jones?
Yeah, the Greg Allman story. That right there, man, puts a bad taste in my mouth when it comes to like grenadier filmmaking. Like it's like, oh, to hell with what the law offices say. To hell with all
We
that.
had a safety instructor for film sets, and yeah, they spent like dedicated a whole hour going over like safety on sets, and they use that as like a huge example of.
Yeah,
look
well,
for red flags in your production team. If you see anything unsafe, don't keep it to yourself.
That's because
or
they
don't do anything unsafe. Period.
Well, yeah, and if I were them, I would have looked for unused train tracks. What happened was this girl was on set, was a camera operator for this film that was going to go over like the story of Greg Allman, and it was a dream scene where an older Greg Allman woke up on the train tracks in a hospital bed, and he was in dressed fully and everything. Well, here's the thing: they could not get clearance from CSX to film on the place that they wanted to, because CSX does not give out authorization for filming on their tracks.
They've always said they don't.
Yeah, they don't. They
Don't
absolutely say no. Hell no.
Well, I'm
They're
sure
not doing it.
just as a CYA maneuver, like I don't blame them. I mean,
well,
basically, it forces Hollywood's got to build fake train tracks for that. That's the only way to get that. Or you can't really say go find abandoned ones, because they're still property of CSX.
Well,
and,
there are private ones that are on like private owners' property.
Yeah,
which
like for example,
my family members actually have train tracks on their old property that are no longer in use and have not been in use for like 40 years.
At Stills Creek when the thing wasn't in operation, because
Yeah.
it'll run certain hours of the day.
Yeah.
I mean, I use stuff like that. They can't tell it's a smaller train track,
No, not at all.
But now
Well,
the train scene might be a little difficult, but
the whole thing that happened with Sarah was the train was coming and it was bearing down on them, and they were trying to get the hospital bed off of the tracks. She got trapped behind it. It got cockeyed on the track, and she was in front of it. It hit the train, or the train hit the bed. It flung her up in front of the train, and the train hit her and killed her.
Cool.
And she was only, what, 20?
She was 24 years old.
Yeah. And that man
She had a good career starting, too.
Yeah,
She
dude.
was already on Vampire Diaries as a second AC. I mean, she was hitting up some pretty big names. Her career up.
And the thing is, that guy who was responsible, the director, is now banned from ever making films again because of that. And if you ask me, that's a just punishment.
I think he got 5 years, and then they said
a lifetime ban.
Yeah, a lifetime ban. You're never allowed to film again.
Exactly.
Which to a filmmaker that's really passionate about it, that's devastating.
Well, I'm sure he's passionate about it, but his arrogance and his stupidity got someone killed. A girl, like a young girl who had all the promise in the world of becoming a great filmmaker in her own right, and he had no right to take that away from her by any stretch of the. Like for me, if my negligence got one of you all killed, I couldn't live with myself. I couldn't live with myself.
You're not going to get me to go anywhere near a train track.
No. Even just basic stuff, like stuff that you trust. Like if we're out filming one day and just for just as a freak occurrence, something did happen and it was my fault. Like it could be like us driving somewhere and like an 18-wheeler comes out and I hit the 18-wheeler. I live, but yet one of you dies. I would feel terrible, and I would feel like responsible for that for the rest of my life.
Yeah, first thing during your pitch, like let's say if you film something, get it funded, and you go to pitch that to one of the major studios, as soon as they see a train track, they're going to expect a lot of paperwork.
Yes,
they're going to be like, we want to know exactly how this was filmed because, if they see any person, they want a paper and all the documents and NDAs and everything signed from each and every person. Mm-hmm. Most of them, it's like, okay, see that sign out there? We need paperwork for that sign. We need paperwork for this. It's like, they look for those permissions, so you can't skimp on getting your stuff done.
That's just like the movie The Peanut Butter Falcon. There's a big scene that takes place on the train tracks, and I guarantee you they had to fill out a shit ton of paperwork for those scenes whenever they were filming on the train tracks.
Yeah.
And it's just negligence that gets people killed. Is it something that could have been prevented?
Well, it wasn't even just the train track. They were on a bridge of a train track.
Yeah,
nowhere to go. It's either jump off a cliff or let the train hit you. Man, really, you couldn't even jump off a cliff because there's barriers.
Yeah, it was like very high barriers. You had to do a decent climb to get over them.
As soon as you see a train, you don't have that much time.
Yeah.
I mean, they're barreling down there, 60 miles an hour.
All right. Well, we've ranted and raved on this enough, ladies and gentlemen. This was Stuntmen React to Bad and Great Hollywood Stunts 3. Hopefully you all enjoyed it, and hopefully you all came away from this with some interesting stories that you can tell to your friends. But I guess until next time, everybody, signing off, I'm Nate.
Micah.
I'm Jacob.
I'm Nick.
And we will see you all in the next one. Peace out.